Coach Prime's youngest child, Shelomi, I think I'm saying her name right. She is now joining the JSU women's basketball team. And does this finally put a stop to the Coach Prime is leaving JSU tomorrow steam mill a little bit? Well, we're going to talk about it right after the bumper. Stay tuned. What's good people? What is good people? My name is JeffLightsyJr here with the Black Boss Channel, Victory Formation. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and notification bell because we upload every single day. Now, Shelomi Sanders, Coach Prime's youngest daughter, has chosen the Jackson State Lady Tigers basketball team. She has signed there. She will go play for Coach Reed in the defending SWAC champions, all that good stuff. The team that just sent the first WNBA player out of an HBCU in the last 20 years in Amisha. It's a big deal for the Lady Tigers basketball team. It's a big deal for Shelomi Sanders. It's a big deal for Coach Prime. And it to me, does it kind of stop the Coach Prime is leaving for the next available opportunity rumors for a little bit? Because now you have not one, not two, but three student athletes on campus and a fourth child who actually does all the JSU football social media in the Sanders family. It's a family affair at Jackson State for Coach Deion Sanders, with his two sons on the team, Shiloh and Shador, his oldest son, Deion Jr., running all the social media, and now Shelomi, his daughter, coming in to play for the women's basketball team. I think that it slows down the rumors. I don't think it stops them completely, simply because Coach Prime is such a big figure, since he is such a big deal, since he, a lot of people gravitate towards him. They gravitate towards videos that have his name in it. They gravitate towards his football program. They gravitate towards his personality. So there's a lot of reasons why Coach Prime will always get brought up, especially when major jobs are open during the college football season. And so since it's the off season and it doesn't look like any other jobs are gonna, pop open here, especially i.e. Florida State, wink, 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 we can leave that to rest. But I think this is a big deal also for the JSU basketball team. One, not just because her last name is Sanders and Shelomi, not just because she's a good basketball player, but I think that level of notoriety coming off sending your first HBCU player to the WNBA as far as a draft pick in the last 20 years continues to help grow and build the brand of Jackson State women's basketball program and of Coach Tomekia Reed. Now, like I said, Shelomi is Coach Prime's daughter, but she is a personality in her own. She is someone who has a huge following on social media. I think her signing pictures to Jackson State garnered over 14,000 likes on Instagram. It's a big deal. That is a big deal. When you bring in a personality, someone of that kind of notoriety, someone who has those connections to the football team, that only elevates your program. Now, people who may not have been tuned in to Jackson State women's basketball, if you living under a rock, maybe those who weren't paying attention to what Coach Reed was doing with the Jackson State women's basketball team. Once again, if you're living under a rock, maybe they are now tuned in because they have a Sanders on the roster, or that they have Coach Prime's daughter on the roster, and let her go there and hoop. Say if she goes there and becomes a great player. If she goes there and becomes another Miss Holiday, that will be a big deal. That will be, and she's no soup sandwich. She averaged 16 a game at her high school, I think around 6 rebounds. She was an all-district type player down in Dallas, and this is great. And it also, like I said, it makes it a family affair for the Sanders family at Jackson State. I've said all along, Coach Prime can do more at Jackson State in a span of 5 years than he will ever be able to do at a Florida State, at a TCU, at any other job in the country. What he's doing for Jackson State, not just Jackson State, but HBCU football, you can't put a price tag on it. You can't, it's invaluable. You can't put a number on it because it's just too much of an impact. And I think having his daughter there, now granted, the transfer portal was there. So we know if he decides to pick up and go, his sons can pick up and go, his daughter can pick up and go. That's just the way college sports is and how it should be. I'm not mad at NIL. I'm not mad at transfer portal. I think there's two of the best things to ever happen to college sports, period. And so therefore, they're not locked and bound, chained to Jackson State. They're not chained to 1400 Lynch Street. They can go outside of those parameters. But I think this, to me, only validates that he will be there at least 5 years. I've said this from the jump. I think Coach Prime will be there at least 5 years. I think he'll win them a couple of celebration bowls. I'm being serious, like just realistically. I think he'll win him a couple celebration bowls, a couple more swag titles. I think he'll be there 5 years. I always said from the beginning, I never thought he'd leave before Shedeur left. And this, having his daughter, seeing her commit to Coach Tomekia Reed, which is a great situation. You get an offer from JSU and you're a pretty good basketball player on the women's side, you should probably strongly consider going playing for that coach, that program, that team, and what they're doing. And they need to make sure they lock her up, by the way. Coach Reed, that is. And so this, once again, it doesn't it doesn't say anything. It doesn't make like put in stone that Coach Prime's going to be at JSU for 5 or 10 or 15 years, right? But I think it adds a little sweetener. I think hiring his son or bringing his son on to run all the social medias is a little sweetener. I think it kind of, seeing what they're doing with the locker rooms and what they're doing with the football fields and all the improvements that they've already made and all the plans that they still continue to have only adds to the fact that I think he will be there for the long run. That's just me. Maybe I'm naive. Maybe I'm silly. Maybe I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But this is what I'm seeing. What I am seeing and what they're doing and the foundation that they are laying looks like they want to be there for a while. And by they, I'm talking Coach Prime and his team, because he has his staff, his football staff, but he has a team behind him. He has a team that fuels the Deion Sanders brand, the Coach Prime brand, whether that's Barstool, whether that's Constance, Smack, or whatever they're called, his entertainment company or whatever, the people that represent him as agents and all that stuff. I think his team has a grand scheme and a grand plan that they want to execute and they want to accomplish before packing their bags, if they want to pack their bags. Once again, this is all speculation, because a lot of folks feel like the brand of Deion Sanders, not just people outside the SWAC, a lot of folks in the SWAC, a lot of folks in HBCU football feel like the brand that is Deion Sanders is too big for Jackson State. And I've seen a lot of the comparisons of pre-Deion, post-Deion, as far as Jackson State, their social media numbers and everything that they're doing. But once again, to me, you can't separate the two. I've said this on a number of occasions. You can't separate Coach Prime from Jackson State at this moment. You can't, because they're one and the same. Right now, he is all in on Jackson State, and they are clearly all in on him. And he is all in, and he continues to show that by sending his children to go there, to bringing his children in to help on the staff, by bringing his children in on the football team, by bringing, seeing his daughter come in on the basketball team. He is all in on Jackson State, and I love it. I love it because it's only going to continue to push HBCU sports and HBCU universities to the forefront of the national conversation that needs to be had, right? Of the national conversation. Now you can't talk college football without bringing up Jackson State. Now you can't talk college football without bringing up Deion Sanders. And at some point, it looks like it's very, very soon, you won't be able to have a conversation about women's college basketball without talking about Miss Tomekia Reed, Coach Reed, and the Jackson State Lady Tigers. The dominance that they've shown at the SWAC level, the competitiveness they showed at the NCAA level at March Madness against LSU, a game that I feel like they very well should have won. But it's happening right in front of your face, and all we can all do is love it, enjoy it, and root for it. Whether you're a fan of another school, you have to love what's taking place at JSU, and hopefully your school is making those improvements as well. And a lot of them are, especially on the football side. I just talked to Romello Watson from Grambling. Grambling's doing some great things. I see Nate Newton over at FAMU. FAMU's doing some great things. Alabama A&M is bringing back a squad. Alcorn is being slept on, but Alcorn was the beast of the SWAC for a long time. I think they're doing some really good things there as well. And so all of these schools are elevating their game because of what's taking place, whether you want to admit it or not, but a lot because of what's taking place at 1400 Lynch Street. And maybe a couple of them might knock them off this season, but we'll have to wait and see on that. Once again, my name is JeffLightsYJr with the Black Boss Channel. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at JLightsy7. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button on your way out, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.